The Americans dominated their opening stretch of the season, winning 7 of their first 10 games, including a combined 6-0 record against the Ironbacks, Muck Dogs, and the Newark Pilots, who have similarly dominated against the other half of the West Division. Tonight, they face off after 2 weeks battling for the division's top spot, with a standout reliever taking a crack at starting pitching. It's the Americans, it's the Pilots, it's PGCBL baseball right here on the Americans Baseball Network.
That the ace of the Giant pitching staff that season was Niagara Falls native Sal Magley. A league low 2.71 earned run.
They chose Niagara Falls because of the stadium, because of the history, because they believe in Niagara Falls.
Tickets 716-215-6161.
And where do you play?
We play right at Sal Magley, gorgeous stadium.
Set the 1-0 to Boyle. Is hammered to right field.
Go, baby, go, baby. Go,
Come
baby,
here,
go,
fence.
Baby.
That ball is way out of here.
Welcome back to Colburn Park as the Americans will take on the Newark Pilots in just a moment. Before we get started, we'll take a look at the PGCBL standings. As I mentioned earlier, Pilots and Americans are in the top 2 spots. Muck Dogs are now in third at 7-4. Double A's sit at 6-4-1. They tied with the Pilots. Pioneers up to 4-4 in that playoff race after beating the Americans on Sunday. Tarpscone's down to 5-6 and out of the playoff picture. And then the Ironbacks and Red Wings well in the basement of the PGCBL, shaping up to be a 6-team playoff race. The top 4 will make it. And we'll introduce you, as they do here at the stadium, to the Pilots starting pitcher, Jake O'Connor. Comes from Rivier University, a Division III school. Has a 7.36 ERA and 7 strikeouts so far this season. And now we're going to pause for the national anthem. We'll be back in just a moment.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you so much for that incredible performance of the national anthem. But we are back here live on the Americans Baseball Network. It's Americans at Pilots, and as we get ready to get underway, we'll introduce you to the Americans starting lineup. Grant Moore going to be leading off in center field, leading the team in stolen bases, as well as a number of other batting stats. Evan Core bats second, leads the team in average and OPS. Tommy Mathey bats third, plays right field. Paul Dolanto, the extra hitter, bats cleanup, had the grand slam against Geneva. Nick Pass doing the catching, batting fifth. Ethan Madison, the DH, bats sixth, back in the lineup today. Dalton Harper back after a weekend off to play first base tonight. Jack Satinoff will play second and bat eighth. Shane Prey, the number 9 hitter, bats plays third as usual, and then Chris Gazaldo to round out the lineup playing shortstop. So in this inning, the Americans will have their 3 outfielders up to the plate: Grant Moore, Evan Core, and Tommy Mathay. Core back in the lineup after a weekend off, some SUNY Niagara events that the players over there had to work, but now they are back here in the starting lineup, notably Evan Core and Dalton Harper. Gavin Boyle should also be joining the team in just a day or two. So this team looking to rebound from a stretch where they lost 3 out of 4 games after an undefeated 6-0 start. And that stretch included a sweep by the Double Days of the Americans. Then they came around to beat the Ironbacks. Pioneers beat them 5-3 on Sunday. Some controversial calls in that game, but nonetheless, Americans falling to 7-3. But here's Grant Moore, the leadoff hitter for the Americans. 472 hitter, 1189 OPS. Leads the West Division with 12 stolen bases. And here's the first pitch from Jake O'Connor. That will be right down the pike for strike 1. So Grant Moore down in the count early here. Has a number of leadoff hits over the course of the year. Also a 10-game hit streak. So that's fouled off for strike 2. Moore with an 0-2 count. The pitch from Connor is fouled off as Moore stays alive despite being down 2 in the count. Jake O'Connor has continued to get off to a strong start here in Newark. But that one is going to be high and away to make it 1-2. Grant Moore working this at bat despite being in an 0-2 hole to start things off here. Here's the pitch, and that is up the middle for a base hit. Grant Moore with another leadoff hit. Had a streak going early in the year. That got broken up a couple days back, but his hit streak is up to 11 games. Grant Moore has had a hit in every single Americans game, has led off for the team in the last 9. An incredible start for these Americans. And Grant Moore takes first base, potentially looking to steal, but the count now 0-1 on Evan Core. Core batting .538 on the year. A very consistent hitter over the course of the season. Now that's low to even it up at 1-1. Grant Moore with a lead at first base. To be expected for a guy with 12 steals, but O'Connor with an even count. Moore takes off, and that is a floater into the outfield for another base hit. Grant Moore coming around to third after starting towards second on the pitch. And now it is runners on the corners. The Americans have 2 hits today. Look at that. An early threat against the pitcher, Jake O'Connor. O'Connor has struggled in a couple of starts this year. We'll see how he can respond after 2 consecutive hits against the Americans. And Tommy Mathay up next. The lefty drives it right down to the first baseman, and that'll be 2 down. But Moore coming in to score. Oh, my goodness. And it's now called a triple play all of a sudden as it is sent to third base. Oh, my goodness. 3 outs to send it to the bottom of the first. Grant Moore caught between third and home. And the Americans, after runners on first and third early, are done after just a half hit, after just 3 batters faced. But Brady Toney meeting with the umpire as we get ready for the bottom of the first. We'll be right back.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better. Back for the bottom of the first inning, we will introduce you to the Newark Pilots starting lineup. So leading off is going to be Paulie Goodness in center field. Coming back to the Pilots, he's a multi-year veteran here in Newark. Cooper Loyal bats second, plays shortstop. Casey Wensley and Noah Brooks have been the heart of this order for the Pilots. Lead in most batting stats, 8 RBIs for Noah Brooks as well. Christian Butera batting fifth, playing third. Nick DiGiacomo, the DH, bats sixth. Alex Wooton, the first baseman, batting seventh. And then Poletto, Hector, and Boussard to finish things off and face the American starting pitcher, Brady Toney. Paulie Goodness will be up first to face the right-hander. As we are underway for the bottom of the first inning, Toney making his first start after a couple of relief appearances, and it's strike one on Paulie Goodness. Goodness, last summer here on the Pilots, 273 batting average, over 300 so far this summer as ball one goes in the dirt. Brady Toney spent his freshman year at Mount St. Mary's, redshirted there, and now in the transfer portal. It's his first start of the year. He does have 2 saves out of the pen, though. And here's the pitch from Toney. And that's a check swing. He did not go. So that'll go inside for the ball. Due up in this inning, in addition to Goodness, are Cooper Loyal and Casey Wensley to face the right-hander Toney. The 2-1 is driven up the middle. Gazaldo will pick it up, send it to Harper at first, and that will be in there for out number 1. Dalton Harper has caught a number of games for these Americans. It's his Americans debut this season at first base, and so far, so good over there. As Cooper Loyal will come up next. Cooper Loyal with some very respectable batting numbers thus far, batting .358 with a .950 OPS. Takes the first pitch from Toney inside for the ball. Loyal plays over at Division I Albany University. And another one will go low for ball 2. Spent a couple years over at the Geneva Red Wings as well. .202 batting average last year in Geneva, and he has certainly improved upon that thus far this year. And takes a strike on the inside part of the plate to make it 2-1. Cooper Loyal, a second consecutive righty to face Toney here. And he will send it up the middle, and it's a fly ball into right field, caught by Mathey for out number 2. Tommy Mathey has played a mix of left and right for this team and making the catch out and right for the out.
Next for the Pilots, the right fielder from Wareham, Massachusetts, number 3, Casey Wensley.
And Casey Wensley, the final batter due up in this inning for the Pilots, attends Wheaton College in Massachusetts, went to Bridgewater Raynham High School, and takes strike 1. Wensley batting a whopping .478. Big reason the Pilots lead the PGCBL in batting average. And the 0-1 is sent to the second baseman, Satinoff, making his debut there, and Harper will complete the final out. We'll head to the top of the second after these messages.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
Back for the top of the second inning here at Colburn Park, and this second inning is brought to you by Bully Hill Vineyards, a great place to wine and dine, the official winery of the Americans. Some of the best in the Finger Lakes, and to lead off the inning for the Americans is the cleanup hitter, Paul Delanto. And he will take a ball to start things off here. Paul Delanto had his only home run of the season against the Red Wings on Wednesday and sends that one on a rocket foul. It's 1-1. So that was fouled off to the left. Delanto now with an even count against the pitcher O'Connor. O'Connor sets for the 1-1. Here's the pitch. That'll get in there right down the middle for strike two. O'Connor trying to settle in here after he was helped out by a big triple play to wrap up the inning. And Delanto leads the team with 10 RBIs. Takes another ball inside. But Delanto is down with that one, and Nick Past will be up next. Past, a product of Eastern Florida State, and that is sent foul down the third baseline for strike one. Jake O'Connor to face Past. Fourth right-hander he's seen, or rather third. And that is sent up the middle again. This one picked up by Loyal and sent to first for out number two. Two quick outs for the Pilots here in this top of the second. Ethan Madison, the next batter. He's DHing tonight. Has played a mix of catcher and first for the team as well. Had a home run against the Tarp Skunks, the only other batter besides Delanto to homer for these Americans. And he's batting .333, so a good contact hitter as well. First pitch from O'Connor is in the dirt. So 1-0. Here to Madison. One of two Americans coming from Trevecca Nazarene University alongside Jack Satinoff, who will be up in a couple batters for Niagara Falls. And that will go outside for ball two. So Madison up in the count after some quick outs by O'Connor and sends this one Hector's way. He'll send it to first, and the Americans will go down 1-2-3 in this top of the second. We'll be right back with the bottom of the inning.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
back for the bottom of the second inning here at Colburn Park. And this season, fans, you can get yourself the latest hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, and more Americans merch at the merchandise stands by concessions every single Americans home game. And the Americans will be back at home tomorrow against the Tarp Skunks. Swept them in the home and home earlier this season. Can they keep the undefeated record against Jamestown? We will see tomorrow night. All your coverage right here on the Americans Baseball Network. So Pilots went down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first inning, and now Noah Brooks, Christian Butera, and Nick DiGiacomo will be next up to face Brady Toney. Noah Brooks, an attendee of Siena College, batting .458 with an 1146 OPS here for the Pilots. That's identical to the OPS of the three-hitter Wensley, but a swing and miss for strike one as Toney's strong start to this game continues. Toney, 2 saves out of the pen, but this is his first start, as I mentioned earlier. And it's an 0-2 count here from Toney to the batter Brooks. And the 0-2 will go outside. Now it's 1-2 here from Colburn Park. One of the biggest American flags I've seen at a ballpark out in center field here. And the 1-2 is sent foul down the first baseline. So Noah Brooks staying in this despite being down in the count. He's been a solid contributor in both years over at Siena. 711 OPS in 2025. Here's the 1-2, and it's in the dirt to even up the count. Toney had Brooks in an 0-2 hole to start, and he's working this count. Get him back into this. We'll see if Toney can finish the job right here with the count now even. Looking to transfer out of Mount St. Mary's after a year there. Here's the pitch, and it is in there for strike 3 on the low edge of the zone. Down goes Noah Brooks. It is the first strikeout of the day, or rather, yes, first strikeout of the day for Brady Toney. As Christian Butera comes up next. Butera comes from Brown University. 303 hitter over there. Only 265 here so far for the Pilots, but looking to chase his Brown numbers in this game against the Americans as he takes a strike on the inside part of the plate. Butera, 5 RBIs on the year, led all Ivy League rookies in batting average back in the spring. Pitch from Toney. And it's a ball high up to even up the count. Ones across the board. Balls, strikes, outs, and Christian Butera stepping back in. The rising sophomore. Check swing, and they'll say that he went. So a 1-2 count as Toney looks for his second consecutive strikeout. Toney going to lower his ERA from 4.15 headed into this game, but it's 2-2 here to Butera. Butera actually had a 5-hit game back in April against Bryant when he was at Brown. And that will be taken just a little bit low to fill up the count on Butera. Brady Toney with his first full count of the day here against these Pilots. And here's the payoff pitch. It is sent foul down the first base line. So Butera extending this at bat even longer. It has spanned 7 pitches thus far. Butera looking to start things off with a hit against the pitcher Toney. And here it is. And that is in there on the inside part of the zone for strike 3 on the breaking ball. And Nick DiGiacomo up next. The only, or one of just 2 Division III athletes in the lineup comes from Franklin and Marshall. Batting .267 with an .878 OPS thus far for the Pilots. We'll try and keep this inning alive after 2 consecutive outs. And it's ball 1 at the shoulder of DiGiacomo. 2 consecutive strikeouts for Tony, but now 2 balls on the batter DiGiacomo, both on that high inside corner. Tony looking to get further into the strike zone here, but it's 3-0. And Brady Tony looking to avoid the 4-pitch walk right here. That'll get in there on the inside part of the zone to make it 3-1. DiGiacomo will take another one inside. That is for ball 4. And DiGiacomo, the first base runner here for the Pilots today, after 5 consecutive batters retired for Brady Tony to start the game. Now Alex Wooten up next. He's at Wilmington University after 2 years of junior college. Wooten batting .375 on the year, another big hitter for these Pilots, specifically on the contact part of the game. And that'll be popped up. Gazaldo getting under it, and he will make the catch for out number 3. After a very high pop-up, the Pilots will leave this inning without a run scored. It's 0-0 as we head to the top of the 3rd.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
Back for the 3rd inning, and this top of the 3rd is sponsored by Greater Niagara Federal Credit Union, Geico of Buffalo, Sammy's Pizza, and McDonald's. At every home game, fans can get a free McCafe Frappe with 3 runs scored for the Americans. Also have the snack wrap coming back in just a little bit. That'll be exciting to see. But Dalton Harper comes up to face the right-hander O'Connor. It'll be Harper, Satinoff, and Prey in this scoreless game. And it's ball 1 on the low end against Harper. Americans have the only hits in the game thus far, 2 hits. That was shut down by a triple play to end the 1st inning, and that's a chopper to 3rd base. Butera throws across, and it is over the head of Wooten. Harper will reach on the E5. So first error of the game committed by the Pilots. Gets Harper on first base. Next up is Jack Satinoff. 887 OPS. Was pinch hit for the last time he played. Had 1 at bat before Carmen Panaro stepped in. Some miscommunications between him and the manager, Will Cordero, hoping to get that right here in Newark. Cordero at 3rd, serving as 3rd base coach in addition to manager, but swing and a miss for strike 1 by Satinoff. And he has been signaling to batters while they're up to the plate. O'Connor The 0-1 as Harper has a lead at first base is in there to make it 0-2 on Satinoff. He'll hold off on swinging at that one. So Satinoff looking to climb out of an 0-2 hole, avoid his second consecutive strikeout up at the plate. And that is a grounder down the first base line to keep Satinoff alive here. The second of those Trevecca Nazarene hitters here for the Americans. He's originally from Tennessee. Played a mix of second, short, and outfield in high school. He's at second tonight for the first time as an American. O'Connor delivers on the 0-2, and that'll get in there on the outside part of the plate for strike 3. Satinoff striking out for the second consecutive at-bat over the course of his last 2 games. And now Shane Prey stepping in. The Fredonia product, batting .320 for the Americans, exceeding his Fredonia stats on the season, even though that's Division III. And that'll be in the dirt for a ball. So 1-0 to Shane Prey. Jake O'Connor looking to keep things scoreless here with the runner on and 1 down. Here's the pitch as Harper takes off. It is sent in a fly ball into the outfield. Diving catch. Harper will have to run back to first base. But out number 2 on the diving catch by Paulie Goodness. The multi-year vet here for the Pilots as Chris Gazaldo will round things out for this Americans lineup. Gazaldo at .333 hitter, .712 OPS. Played third base in the season opener, but has shifted over to shortstop since. That's a more natural position for him. The pitch is inside for the ball. O'Connor on a very sunny day. Great weather for baseball. Harper has the lead at first. And here is the 1-0. Gets in there down the middle for 1-1 on the count. Jake O'Connor came in with an ERA over 7, looking to keep it lowered here in this third inning as it's 2-1 on the ball there. Harper now right at first, starting to take his lead back here after the ball to Gazaldo, and now big cut and miss to make it 2s across the board. Balls, strikes, outs. Chris Gazaldo. Looking for another multi-hit game. He's had a handful of them this season. To be specific, 4 multi-hit games on the year. Had a 1-for-10 slump in between, but nonetheless been a very productive hitter for these Americans. Still 2s across the board. O'Connor checking on Harper. And now delivers. And that'll graze Gazaldo. It's first and second. Harper headed over to second base. Gazaldo takes his base. Alan Ramos, another shortstop on this Americans roster, serving as the first base coach today. And here's Grant Moore. 1-for-1, led off the game with a single, but was retired on the triple play, attempting to come home from third base. He had advanced there on the core single that followed him up, but now runners on for Graham Moore as that's at his feet for ball 1. So Jake O'Connor had some traffic in the first inning. Now it's 2 ducks on the pond again here in this third inning with Grant Moore up. The 1-0 as O'Connor checks on second base. And that'll be upstairs to make it ball 2. Grant Moore, his hit streak up to 11 after the leadoff single today. And that is in a similar spot. Now a 3-0 count. A walk here would load the bases. If Moore has the green light, though. More damage could be done. I'd imagine he might as a 472 hitter headed into the game, but it will be at his feet to load the bases. Grant Moore on first. Now Gazaldo on second and Harper on third. Brings up Evan Core. And this is not a guy you want to face with the bases loaded. 1 for 1 today. Came in batting .538 with a 1406 OPS. He has killed it offensively and defensively. His first game as an American. Gun to throw home to Dalton Harper from right field to tag a Niagara Ironback out at the plate. That was in only the second inning of the game, and it got even better from there. And here is Evan Core for the second time today. The SUNY Niagara product will take a ball low. On what appears to be one of O'Connor's slower pitches. The 1-0. Another one low. Catches some dirt for ball 2. O'Connor has thrown 6 consecutive balls after hitting Chris Gazaldo. Will this be 7? No, it gets in there on the inside part of the plate to make it 2-1. The ball streak broken up by that one. And Jake O'Connor still a disadvantage in the count as it's ball 3 up high to Evan Core. Core came in batting .538. Will he get the green light here? Moore certainly showed some patience, but that's a chopper, and it'll be called foul. It hopped to the foul side of the third base line, and it's a full count on Evan Core with 2 down and the bases loaded. Big moment here for the Americans and big moment for Jake O'Connor. Looking to avoid giving up the run. He can get out of the jam right here on the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, and the Americans go down without a run. Evan Core strikes out, and despite 2 hits on the day, the Americans still tied at 0 with the Pilots as we head to the bottom of the third.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
We welcome you back to Colburn Park for this bottom of the third inning. And fans, did you know American season tickets are only $99? Come be a part of the fun this summer at Sal Magley Stadium. Stop by the concession stands at any home game and pick up your season tickets today to be a part of this historic season in Niagara Falls. And up next, it'll be Jacob Paletto to kick things off for the Pilots in this bottom of the third. Anthony Hector and Louis Broussard, the final 3 hitters in this Pilots lineup, will face Brady Toney here in this third inning. And that'll get in there on the outside part of the plate. So Paletto down in the count. 300 hitter on the year, takes the ball at his feet to make it 1-1. That was down and in for the ball as Toney will quickly meet with his catcher, Nick Past. And umpire looks a little shaken up. But everyone headed back after the brief timeout for the meeting between Tony and his catcher passed. 1-1. Pilots looking to get some runs on the board and strike first. Here's the pitch, and it is sent on a line drive, drops for the base hit. And Paletto will hold up at first. That's the first hit of the day for the Pilots after 2 hitless innings thrown by Brady Toney. And here comes the money, the walk-up song for the next hitter, Anthony Hector. Second consecutive switch hitter to face Brady Toney, both batting from the left side to face the right-hander. Hector, 873 OPS, 9 RBIs on the year. Interesting batting stance, and it's popped up. Harper coming in. He has it for out number 1. So it's 1 on, 1 out here for the Pilots. Paletto led off the inning with a base hit. Now Hector on the pop out. Retired as Louis Boussard comes up next.
Extra hitter from Louisville, Texas, number 26, Louis Boussard.
And Louis Boussard, the extra hitter today, comes from Abilene Christian University. Batted .265 over there his freshman year. Similar .267 here so far for the Pilots. Tony sets and delivers on the outside ball. Boussard. Somehow a .267 is pretty far down the leaderboard of Pilots batting average. They lead the league in it. It's 1-1 now on him. So one's across the board. Ball strikes out, and what do you know, a runner on first as well. Tony. The 1-1 is at the feet of Boussard for ball 2. Boussard, late arrival here for the Pilots, and looking to get in his groove here in Newark after a decent start, but certainly has higher potential. Pitch from Tony is up and away to make it 3-1. Brady Toney struggling to find that same command of the strike zone that he had over the first couple innings. Struck out 2 batters in that second inning, Brooks and Butera, on consecutive at-bats. But now Boussard up 3-1 in the count against Tony, who checks on Paletto at first base. Maybe his attention a little divided here, as that's a chopper, gets past Harper. And it's going to be a base hit, sending Paletto to third. That just bounced too high for Harper to be able to field it. And it'll be the second hit of the day, second hit of the inning for Newark. So now 2 hits apiece. No runs allowed by either side yet, but Brady Toney has some traffic on the base paths as it's back to the top of the Pilots order with Paulie Goodness. And Paulie Goodness came into this game batting .310, but 0 for 1 on the day. Tony checking on the runner at first base, Boussard. Now the pitch is on the inside part of the plate for strike 1. Paulie Goodness. His brother Ian also on the team. They have been here for multiple years each. And now he's at Lemoyne after a couple of years at Finger Lakes Community College, and Boussard will take off on ball 1, so now 2 runners in scoring position for the leadoff hitter Goodness. Big opportunity for him. Already has driven in 6 runs on the year. Could he get number 7 and 8 with ones across the board? Both runners have a lead at their respective bases. And that one is up high for the ball. Paletto on third, and Boussard just took second on the stolen base. Tony looking to get the advantage back in this count, but that is sent on the line drive to Grant Moore. He'll make the catch for out number 2, but coming in to score on the sac fly is Jacob Paletto. So 2 down, but a run scores from second base, and Boussard will hold up at second, but still in scoring position as the Pilots take a 1-0 lead on the sac fly. Cooper Loyal will bat next. 0 for 1 today, but came in batting .358. Attends Division I Albany University. Tony gonna need to have his attention in multiple places here with Boussard. A big lead on the second. He's taunting Tony, but Tony will deliver in the dirt. A wild pitch allows Boussard to take off to third, as exactly what you don't want to do with the runner on second. Gotta, at this point, stay locked in on your batter, Cooper Loyal, as Boussard now on third base. Pilots and Americans battling for that top spot in the West Division. Loyal has played a mix of third and short for this team, at short today, and that is high and in to make it 2-0. Tony got to refine his command of the zone here with 2 down. Boussard eager to come home. Swing and a miss to make it 2-1. Tony bringing the heat and gets Loyal to chase on it. So Tony looking to get an advantage back in this count, as that is chopper sent to Satinoff. Will it be there for the out? No, Harper was not on the bag. He's going to have to move. And Loyal will reach on what is ruled an infield single. Run will score. It's 2-0 Pilots. So now just a runner on first, and Brady Tony has allowed 2 runs here in the inning, as it's an RBI infield single by Cooper Loyal. Casey Wensley, the lefty, up next to face Tony. So just a lot of tough balls to play in this infield. Field has a lot of bounce on it. One bounced over the head of Harper, and now taking off to second is Cooper Loyal. So on ball 2, the steal to put another runner in scoring position for the Pilots. Brady Tony had a very solid first 2 innings, but struggling here in the third. Tony, this is an effort to stretch him out as a starting pitcher after a couple of appearances out of the pen, a couple of saves. Tied for the team lead in saves with Hudson Boring. And the 2-0 in just a moment here from Tony. He checks on the runner and now sends it down the pike for strike 1. The runner on second is Cooper Loyal. He singled in the infield and then stole second on one of the balls here in the hitter's count for Casey Wensley, and now he's taunting to go to third as that one finds the outside corner to make it 2-2. 2s across the board. Ball strikes outs. Pilots also lead 2-0. 2 hits on the day, so, or rather 3 now. Tony checks on his runner, and Gazaldo playing a little game of chicken with him out there, but the pitch is going to be upstairs to fill up the count. Tony with another full count, looking to get out of this jam after 2 runs allowed. Jake O'Connor had a full count with the bases loaded and 2 down and sent Core packing. We'll see if Tony can do the same to Wensley with the runner on. Here's the pitch. It's upstairs. And now runners on first and second to bring up Noah Brooks. Could be trouble for Brady Toney. Brooks, a .458 hitter coming into the game. Struck out his first time up. We'll see if Toney can fool him again here. But not going to be easy. Brooks always a tough at bat here in Newark. From Colburn Park, the Pilots with the early lead here in the bottom of the third inning. And Noah Brooks, the next customer, with runners on first and second. Check swing, they'll say he went. Strike one. So Brady Toney up in the count early, just looking to get out of this after a lot of traffic on the bases, a couple of runs given up. It's been a rough inning, but Toney looking to get right back on track. And that is sent on a line drive into right center field. It'll drop in there and go off the wall for the double. 1 run scores, another coming in. The Pilots take a 4-0 lead. Fourth hit of the day is a big RBI double by Noah Brooks. 2 runs coming in, and Noah Brooks certainly swinging for the fences today, but it paid off right there as that just went right over the head of Tommy Mathey, deep into right field. And Brooks will find himself on second base right away here as Christian Butera comes up next. 5 ribbies on the season. Could have another here to make it 5-0. It's been tough for Toney in this inning, as I mentioned. But the Americans will have the chance to strike back in the top of the fourth. Brooks has a lead. He's taunting. And that is popped up down the first base line. Makes it 0-1. And just a couple pitches into the count. Noah Brooks with that huge double right on the sweet spot of the bat. And Brady Toney with the count in his favor, looking to finish this inning right here. Checks on his runner, Brooks, and that is in there on the inside part of the plate. Toney is 1 strike away from ending this parade for the Pilots here in the bottom of the third. 4 runs scored in this inning alone in what was previously a scoreless affair, a pitcher's duel. The pitch from Toney, check swing. They will say he went. That is strike 3. Toney with his 3rd strikeout of the day, his 2nd on Butera in 2 times facing him. We'll head to the 4th inning after the break. Ever dreamed of playing catch right here at Sal Magley Stadium? Well, join us June 22nd for a post-game catch on the field. Back for the 4th inning, and it'll be Tommy Mathey, Paul Delanto, and Nick Pass, the 3-4-5 here for the Americans. This 4th inning is brought to you by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 237, by Johnny Ryan, and by Coca-Cola. And first pitch from Jake O'Connor will find the outside part of the plate for strike 1 on Mathey. Mathey came into the game batting 100, 0 for 1 on the day. And the pop-up in foul territory behind Mathey. Will make it 0-2. It's out of play. The catcher, Noah Brooks, in his green catching gear from Siena. Pilots wearing white tonight compared to the Americans' blue, but delivering on the 0-2 here is O'Connor. And that'll be outside to make it 1-2. Keep Mathey alive here. Mathey hasn't gotten a lot of hits on the season, but also hasn't struck out a lot. He's been a tough at bat every time. Cordero's rewarded him by batting him third here, and that is hooked foul down the third base line. Looked like it was headed fair at first, but hooked off the bat. And now the 1-2 count on Mathey as O'Connor looks to finish the job here. And that is inside to even up the count. Mathey, wearing number 2, has a 2-2 count. So 2 coming up as a magic number again. Looking to get the Americans' hit count above 2, though. Here it is, and that is sent into right field. It's a deep fly ball, and Wensley will make the catch. Tommy Mathey hit it hard, but not quite hard enough. It's out number 1 on these Americans, as Delanto will bat next. Comes from Stony Brook. Did not see playing time there in his freshman year, but a great campaign here for the Americans. Some great power on his bat. Certainly proving himself headed into his sophomore year there. The first pitch is sent foul behind Delanto to make it 0-1. 1 down on the Mathey deep fly out to start out this inning. Delanto struck out in his first time up, and that'll get in there on the curve for strike 2. And the 0-2. Another breaking ball will be sent foul by Delanto. Those curves have been a strength here for O'Connor today. But Delanto looking to climb out of this 0-2 hole. He's been fooled by him so far. O'Connor has done some great things to his ERA today, but ball 1 to Delanto. He will take it outside and low. Jake O'Connor looking to end it right here with the count in his favor. But it is popped up in foul territory, out of play. It's 1-2. And the Pilots, some common sponsors with the Americans, including Wegmans and Bully Hill Vineyards, but Delanto looking to get the third hit on the board for the Americans, but pops another one up in foul territory. Paul Delanto, 10 RBIs on the year, a .320 batting average. Can he get his first hit of the day with the 1-2 count? Pitch from O'Connor is going to hit Delanto. It's another hit batsman by Jake O'Connor. That's the second one he's hit today. Both of them just barely grazing the batter, but a hit batter's a hit batter. And Delanto takes his base. Nick Past up next. Gazaldo, the other batter to be hit today, and that was followed up by 6 consecutive balls. We'll see if O'Connor can re-find his command of the zone after hitting his second batter of the day. And so far, so good. That is on the inside part of the plate for strike 1. The sun is setting here at Colburn Park as the Pilots lead 4-0. And that is outside to make it 1-1. Ones across the board. Ball, strikes, and outs. Nick Past came into the game batting .300, 0 for 1 today. Looking to get back up over that marker. Big cut and miss. And pass back down in the count. on a faster pitch by O'Connor. He's used a lot of breaking balls today, but mixed in some fastballs as well. And that one is going to be outside on another slower pitch to make it 2-2. Jake O'Connor looking to make it 4 consecutive scoreless innings. Sends the 2-2 pass away. It's a pop-up into the middle of the infield. Hector will make the catch at second base for out number 2. So the fly out by Mathay, the pop out by Pass for the first 2 outs here. Delanto on first after being hit. And next up is Ethan Madison. Madison DHing today, has seen time at catcher and first base. Came in batting .333, but over 1 today, has had a tendency to swing for the fences. And a swing right there for strike 1. More of a check swing, but they'll say he went. Madison looking to cash in with his big swings here, but it's 1-1 on the outside pitch that he takes. Madison going to have to show a little more patience if he wants to stay in a larger number of at-bats here, but the big swings have paid off for the Americans against Jamestown, and another one grazing the batter. And these right-handed hitters have continued to be hit by Jake O'Connor. It's runners on first and second, both of them on hit by pitches. That is 3 on the day. Gazaldo was the first. That came last inning, and now 2 ducks on the pond for Dalton Harper. Harper reached on the error the first time around. Looking to get on base for the second time, but here is another meeting on the mound. It'll be Asher Akridge, the assistant coach, coming in. Pilots managed by Marcus Smith. We'll not see him in this meeting, but just the pitcher and catcher with Asher Akridge. And I'm receiving word over from the Pilots broadcast that Micah Bennett's in the pen for Newark. Bennett has appeared just once here for the Pilots, a .386 ERA and 2 strikeouts. But Dalton Harper had a 3-for-4 day about a week ago. Looking to build on that. But he takes a strike in on the inside part of the plate to make it 0-1. Harper, second-year American from SUNY Niagara. Delanto has a lead on second base, and that is low and away to even up the count on Harper with 2 down and 2 on. Madison on first, Delanto on second. Both now have a lead on their respective base as Dalton Harper looks to knock in some runs. 1 RBI on the year thus far, and that is sent up the middle, and it'll get past the shortstop Loyal for the base hit. Coming around to score is Paul Delanto. It'll be close, but he will reach it for the run. The RBI single by Dalton Harper is the Americans' 3rd hit of the day and scores run number 1 to cut this lead to 3. Dalton Harper showing why he was brought back for year 2 with these Americans, but Jack Satinoff will be up next. Looking to break his consecutive streak of strikeouts here. He's had 2 in a row over the course of the last 2 games. Just 1 at bat against Auburn. That's a chopper foul down the first base line. It's 0-1 on Satinoff with 2 down. Runners were attempting to get themselves both into scoring position, but will have to go back on the foul ball. And now Harper and Madison retaking their leads at first and second. 2 down. Satinoff down 0-1 in the count. O'Connor checking on Madison, then delivering at the knees of Jack Satinoff to even up the count. So Satinoff with his Trevecca Nazarene teammate Madison on second base, looking to knock him in for the second run of the day for Niagara Falls. And that is sent down the first base line, fielded by Wooten at first. That'll be out number 3, but the Americans put up their first run of the day. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th after the break.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Back for the bottom of the 4th inning here from Colburn Park. Pilots lead it 4-1. And fans, we want to remind you to follow us on all our social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. All on your screen right now. You can connect with the Americans like never before this season. All thanks to our social media managers, Frankie Morris and Leah Fraun. They have been keeping it up and running all year long. But now due up for the Pilots in this inning will be Nick DiGiacomo, Alex Wooten, and Jacob Paletto, as it's a ball from Brady Toney, who will attempt to go for a 4th inning here after 4 runs allowed in the bottom of the 3rd. That's another inside ball. Toney continuing to struggle with his command of the zone after some big success early. I mean, he did wrap up the 3rd inning with a strikeout of Butera. Let's see if he can build on that here, despite the lead in the count for DiGiacomo. He has a big cut and miss to make it 2-1. That'll help Toney out. Getting the batter DiGiacomo to chase. DiGiacomo DHing today, also plays a good part of outfield here for the Pilots, but that is up and at the head of DiGiacomo to make it 3-1. Toney as the sun sets with the 3-1 count, and that is sent foul right behind the dish to fill up the count. So it's been an early advantage here for Nick DiGiacomo, but now the count is full. No more wiggle room. Payoff pitch on the way in just a moment from Brady Toney. Now he'll deliver. Swing and a miss. It's the 4th strikeout of the day for Toney. It's also Toney's 8th strikeout on the year. He's doubled his total just today. Notable that he'd only pitched 4 total innings for the Americans prior to this game. 4 1/3 to be exact, but nonetheless. It's Alex Wooten up next for the Pilots. 2nd consecutive righty here to face Toney. That is on the inside part of the plate to make it 0-1. Alex Wooten 0 for 1 on the day. He lowered his .375 batting average coming in. The 0-1 is sent in the dirt to even up the count. Ones across the board. Ball strikes outs. And Toney looking to retire a 2nd consecutive batter to start off his 4th inning, but it's lined into right field and caught by Mathey. Does not drop in front of him, rather goes right into his glove. Doesn't have to move much for out number 2. And here's Jacob Paletto. I mean, he kicked off the rally in the 3rd inning, so he's 1 for 1. Came around to score on the infield, hit by Cooper Loyal. or rather the ground out by Goodness, but it's 1-0 to Paletto, looking to put himself at 2 for 2 on the day. Spent last summer in Delray Beach, Florida for the Delray Beach Lightning as he takes a strike. Not too far from Florida Atlantic University, but he attends community college in Louisiana. That's a dribbler on the comebacker to Tony, sent to Harper for out number 3. So the Americans still down 3, but Tony sends the Pilots down 1-2-3 in this bottom of the 4th. We'll be right back.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
Back for the top of the 5th inning, and this 5th inning is brought to you by Tropical Heating and Cooling. Call 716-870-0753 for expert service. And it's a call to the bullpen here for the Newark Pilots after 4 innings of 1-run ball by Jake O'Connor. He will be relieved by Ethan Chavez. Chavez comes from Mitchell College, and so far for the Pilots is 1-0 with an ERA of 3 and 4 strikeouts. Started 1 game in 17 appearances over at Mitchell. Has been a reliever here for the Pilots as they've run with pretty much a 4-man rotation. Burkholder, O'Connor, Driscoll, and Gibson Carey. And due up here for the Americans in this inning will be Shane Prey, Chris Gazaldo, and Grant Moore. Shane Prey has seen the majority of the time at third base for the Americans. Great defender over there. Has a cannon for an arm. Made some great throws. And Chavez with the first pitch of his night. That is in there on the inside part of the plate for strike 1 on Prey. Shane Prey, 0 for 1 on the day. Struggled on Sunday against Elmira, but a multi-hit game on Saturday against the Ironbacks. And that is popped foul to make it 0-2 on him. Prey, the lone Division III product here in the Americans lineup today. Connor Kiefer, also a D3 athlete, but not in the lineup today. Has played some second for these Americans here and there, but a swing and a miss by Prey for strike 3. And Ethan Chavez will record strikeout number 1 of the day, strikeout number 5 of his season. Chris Gazaldo up next. Wearing number 42, he has confirmed it's in honor of the great Jackie Robinson. One of the 3 batters to get whacked by Jake O'Connor, and that'll be low for the ball. Gazaldo, a .333 hitter, 712 OPS before the hit by pitch, and that's a ground ball. The Loyal will send it to first. Wooten is there for out number 2. So an easy 6-3 for the Pilots. Brings up the leadoff man, Grant Moore, for the 3rd time today here in this top of the 5th. Been a quick ball game here at Colburn Park. 5th inning already after only an hour and 10 minutes of play. Grant Moore 1 for 1 with a walk today. Pitch from Chavez. Moore shows bunt. That'll be in there for strike 1. His bunt swing missing the ball. Grant Moore has reached base twice today already, looking to make it 3 times as it's another swing and miss to make it 0-2. Grant Moore has been the rock of this Americans lineup. Leadoff hitter each of the last 9 games, 12 stolen bases, and an 11-game hit streak. Takes the 0-2, swing and a miss, and Grant Moore sent down in 3 pitches by Ethan Chavez. Chavez strikes out 2 in his first inning of work. We'll be right back for the bottom of the 5th. Ever dreamed of playing catch right here at Sal Magley Stadium? Well, join us June 22nd for a post-game catch on the field. Back for the bottom of the 5th inning. And fans, you or someone you know have a birthday coming up, why not celebrate with the Americans? Packages include 10 tickets, 2 large Sammy's pizzas, 10 drinks, customized Wegmans cake, autographed Americans baseballs, and special recognition at the game, starting at just $175. Sign up online at NiagaraFallsAmericans.com. Sponsored by Wegmans and Sammy's Pizza. But in the meantime, we have a call to the bullpen here for the Americans. It's Hudson Boring. And in a number of appearances out of the pen this season, he is 0-1 with a 1.8 ERA, 5 strikeouts, and 2 saves. Was a late inning reliever to start off here, but has been more of a middle reliever in recent days here for the Americans. We'll have a quick meeting with his catcher, Nick Pass, before kicking things off against Anthony Hector. Hector Broussard and Goodness due up for the Pilots here in the bottom of the 5th. And after 4 innings by Brady Toney, it's Hudson Boring on the bump for the Americans. Product of Panola College, alongside 2 of his fielders today, the shortstop Chris Gazaldo and the right fielder Tommy Mathey. A total of 5 Panola players on the Americans roster. Tristan Raley, the rising freshman. The rest of them, including infielder Brady Bowles, are rising sophomores. And it's strike 1 down the pike for Hudson Boring on his first pitch to Anthony Hector. Hector 0 for 1 today and sends it on the fly ball into center field. Grant Moore will make the catch for out number 1. Hudson Boring pitching a soft contact right there with great success. Records an out in just 2 pitches to send up Louis Broussard.
Up next for the Pilots, extra hitter number 26, Louis Broussard.
Louis Broussard batted .265 over at Abilene Christian. On the night, he's 1 for 1. Came around to score on the Cooper Loyal infield single. He was the second run to score here for the Pilots today, but up 1-0 on the count here against Boring as he pops it up down the third base line, and that'll drop foul out of reach for Evan Core, the left fielder. And Broussard, the extra hitter today. The first true lefty that Boring will face. Hector, the switch hitter, did bat from the left side, but nonetheless, it's a foul tip to make it 1-2. The count now in Boring's favor for the first time after an early ball 1. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. And on the breaking ball, Louis Broussard will chase for strike 3. It's Hudson Boring's first strikeout of the day. And strikeout number 6 on the year. And now it's back to the top of the order. Paulie Goodness was here with his brother Ian early in the season. Now Ian leaving the team to work on his mechanics as Paulie takes strike 1. So an 0-1 count. Boring up in the count once again and delivers low to even things up here. Boring got 2 quick outs. First on the fly ball and then the strikeout. And it's been just 8 pitches for him thus far. Here's number 9. And that'll go low down the pike to make it 2-1. Does not find the low edge of the zone. A slight miss here by Boring. And the pitch is fouled off to even things back up. It's 2s across the board now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The batter, number 2, Paulie Goodness. And Goodness 0 for 1 on the day. Had the sac fly. And grounder towards Satinoff at second. And it'll be out number 3 at first base. Harper completing the out. We'll head to the top of the 6th inning after the break. It's 4-1 Pilots. Americans looking to climb back. We'll be right back.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Back for the top of the 6th inning, and this 6th inning is brought to you by Niagara County Legislator Chris Robbins, Laborers Local 91, and Wegmans. And Ethan Chavez will keep pitching to these Americans. His next 3 customers, Evan Core, Tommy Mathey, and Paul Delanto. Evan Core already 1 for 2 today, a .538 hitter coming into this game. Will be a tough customer to lead off the inning for Ethan Chavez, but already struck out Grant Moore, got him to chase on strike 3. So he has proven that he can duke it out with the best of the best at the plate. Evan Core looking to cut this lead further, sends it on the fly ball into shallow center field, and the diving catch by Paulie Goodness. He has been excellent out in center today. And Tommy Mathey already with 1 down here for the Americans. Chavez has started off his day with 4 consecutive outs. Prey, Gazaldo, Moore, and Core all retired by Chavez over 1 1/3 innings of work. And here's Mathey, the Panola product, will take the strike on the inside part of the plate. 0-1 with 1 down, nobody on. Mathey came into the game batting 100. It's fallen further as he's 0 for 2. Here's the pitch, and it is dribbled foul by Mathey. May have bounced off somebody's legs there. Mathey and the catcher, Noah Brooks, both close to it. So the 0-2 count. Mathey taking a brief timeout here with 1 down. Ethan Chavez looking for his 5th consecutive batter retired. Mathey takes the 0-2 and fouls it off. Behind him to stay alive in this at-bat. The Panola product, the only one of these top 4 in the Americans order yet to strike out today. The 0-2 pitch from Chavez. And that is sent to the second baseman and bobbled by Hector. That'll be an error by the Pilots, the 2nd of the day for them. And reaching base is Tommy Mathey for the first time today. Brings up Paul Delanto. He's 0 for 1. Got hit, struck out.
Next for the Americans, extra hitter number 9, Paul Delanto.
And an opportunity here to cut this lead, or at least advance the runner Mathey, but first pitch is in the dirt to make it 1-0. 1 down and 1 on. Mathey, the base runner, reached on the error. And that is inside to make it 2-0. Delanto had to adjust his bat right there on the inside pitch. Delanto looking for home run number 2 of the year. Takes the 2-0. That is in there on the inside part of the plate to make it 2-1 on the breaking ball by Chavez. And Delanto probably thought that was going high, but drops back down into the strike zone. So the 2-1 count. And after the pickoff attempt, Mathey already has a lead. Back at first, will take off on the chopper and sent to second base rather for out number 1, but the fielder's choice will allow Delanto to reach first base with 2 down. Cooper Loyal sends it to second for the out, but the out at first not in time on a potential double play. And it's Nick Past up next in this top of the 6th. Past 0 for 2 on the day, came in batting .300 and pops one up in foul territory. That is way over everybody's heads, makes it 0-1 to Past. Nick Past led off his season here with the Americans with a 2-run triple in the very first game. Down 0-2 right here. Past looking to avoid his first strikeout of the day. The Americans have struck out 5 times total, just 3 hits recorded. So they're striking out more than they're recording hits so far today. Not what you want to see. Down 4-1 to the Pilots. 1 on, 2 away here. The fielder's choice got Delanto to first. And that is sent foul this time down the first base line. And Ethan Chavez, it's going to take a long time here for him to get his final strike. We'll see if he can get it right here with the 0-2 count after a couple fouled off by Past. Here's the pitch. And that is inside. That strike 3 will have to wait even longer here. Pilots have committed 2 errors, but only 1 run allowed despite those errors, and that 1 run was actually earned, did not come in an inning where the errors were committed. That's going to be low, catches some dirt to make it 2s across the board, balls, strikes, outs. And Delanto with the lead at first base. Chavez delivers on the 2-2. It's another one fouled off. Nick Past really working this count well. And we're going to be approaching double-digit numbers here soon for Ethan Chavez on this at-bat. A Pilot coming to return the ball into the game. And the pitch from Chavez on the 2-2. It's sent up the middle, and it is caught by Anthony Hector. He heads towards second for the out. And the Americans will go down without another run scored here. It's 4-1 Pilots. We head to the bottom of the 6th. See if Hudson Boring keeps pitching when we're back.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
back for the bottom of the 6th inning. And fans, I want to remind you that an Americans game is a great way to bring your group together and entertain a group for an evening. We are able to offer fundraisers tailored to your group needs, nonprofits, churches, youth sports, and much, much more. For all group information, please visit our website at NiagaraFallsAmericans.com. And in the 6th inning, Hudson Boring still pitching, meeting briefly with his third baseman Shane Prey, but he'll face the meat of this Pilots order: Cooper Loyal, Casey Wensley, and Noah Brooks. Americans will take on the Jamestown Tarpskunks at home tomorrow, as they're looking over these next couple games to break out of a stretch where they've lost 3 out of 4. Ball 1. And now a line drive up the middle. Moore will make the basket catch for out number 1. Graham Moore plays a great center fielder. And now Casey Wensley up next, the right fielder today for the Pilots. 478 hitter coming in. 0 for 1 on the day with a walk. Shows bunt, but takes the ball outside. Wensley, Massachusetts native, went to Bridgewater Raynham High School, and that's a deep fly ball into right center field. Mathey will make the catch as he backs up for it. Out number 2. First 2 outs both coming in the outfield. Hudson Boring has gotten some great support from his outfielders here today. Noah Brooks, the cleanup hitter, now up with 2 down for the Pilots. Hudson Boring has been off to an excellent start here today in this relief outing. It's his 2nd inning of work here in the 6th. And it's a check swing. They'll say he went for strike 1. Noah Brooks out of Siena has 64 total starts over there across 2 years. And that is in the dirt to make it 1-1. Brooks at catcher today, put a mix of catcher and first in the Mac Turney for Siena. The 1-1 from Boring. And another micro swing right there, but did not go around that time. It's 2-1 from Boring to Brooks. And the 2-1 goes way inside to make it 3-1. Hudson Boring looking to avoid walking his first batter. Played for the Tarpskunks last summer, actually alongside one of the Americans, Connor Kiefer, but a swing and a miss to make it a full count. Hudson Boring, one of his first full counts of the day. A lot of quick outs for him, but look at the end of the inning right here on the payoff pitch. It's instead lined up the middle for the base hit. Brooks will stay at first. It's the first hit allowed by Hudson Boring here in his 2nd inning of work. And the Pilots have a runner on in the form of Noah Brooks, who is now 2 for 3 on the day. Had a 2-run double earlier. Christian Butera will bat next. And Brady Toney struck him out twice, but this is the first time Boring will see him in this game. Butera comes from Brown and will take the pitch inside for the ball. Butera looking to make contact in fair territory for the first time today. He struck out once swinging, once looking. And another one up and in to make it 2-0. The sole runner on is Noah Brooks, who just singled after 2 consecutive flyouts by Loyal and Wensley. First one to center field, then to right. And that is in there right down the pike to make it 2-1. Hudson Boring looking to get his advantage back in this count. 2 down, 1 on. Brooks has a lead. He's starting to advance, but a swing and miss to make it 2-2 as Brooks scurries back to first base. Twos across the board now, and it's Butera looking for his first knock of the day to advance Noah Brooks. Pitch from Boring is inside to fill up the count. At the hands of Butera. Butera playing third today for the Pilots, has played some first as well, but recently been the third baseman here. Payoff pitch will be fouled off behind him to the left side. Brooks going to have to run right back. Appears to have hit Nick Pass's helmet. And Hudson Boring for a second straight payoff pitch right here. It is popped up. It'll be in foul territory. Interestingly, this press box, one of the closer press boxes to the field, no foul balls have come close, thankfully. Even into this netting in front of us right here, but the full count on Christian Butera is another one fouled off, and speak of the devil, that heads right into the netting near this press box. Boring has not been boring to watch by any means. He has gotten outs left and right, retired 5 consecutive before giving up the base hit. The pitch is going to be just outside to put another runner on. So 2 ducks on the pond for Nick DiGiacomo, the designated hitter. 0 for 1 has walked today. A walk here would load the bases. And Hudson Boring, he's kind of been a streaky pitcher. When he's good, he is really good. When he's letting runners on, it can spiral for him a little bit. And checks on Brooks now, delivers, and that is sent right up the middle, hard hit for the base hit. And coming around to score is Noah Brooks. It's an RBI knock to make it 5-1 Pilots. Boring giving up his first run on 3 consecutive batters reached for the Pilots after 5 consecutive outs to start out Boring's day. We'll have to see if any work gets going in the Americans' pen after the traffic on the base paths for Hudson Boring. Also have to see if Boring can silence things right here against Alex Wooten, the first baseman. That'll be on the low part of the zone for strike 1. Wooten headed to Wilmington University after 2 years at Finger Lakes Community College. Last played for them in 2024. Pitch from Boring is a chopper down the third base line. It'll go foul. And this will help Boring out. He's got an 0-2 advantage on Alex Wooten early here. See if he can end it right here. 1 strike away from stranding 2 despite 1 run allowed. Pilots have 6 hits on the day to knock in 5. Americans have knocked in just 1 with their 3 hits, and it's a pop-up. And it is headed towards Gazaldo. He'll make the catch for out number 3. We'll head to the top of the 7th inning. Americans give up 1 run, but still very much in this ball game as we head to the 7th inning.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Back for the 7th inning, and this 7th inning here on the Americans Baseball Network is sponsored by Elks Lodge, Bikers Against Child Abuse, the Stalka Agency, and Red Robin Gourmet Burgers and Brews. As Ethan Chavez pitching to Ethan Madison, it's ball 1 on him. Americans looking to get some more runs on the board, cut the lead to 3 back in the 4th inning, and the Pilots now back up 4 after a run in that bottom of the 6th. But it's now 2-0 on 2 high pitches to Ethan Madison. Madison 0 for 1. Big cut and miss to make it 2-1. Madison never fails to get some big swings in his at-bats, even if he's showing some better patience here today. Still swinging at some close ones, but a 2-2 count after the foul ball by Madison to the right side. Madison, 6 RBIs on the year, 3 of them coming on a 3-run go-ahead shot against Jamestown a week ago today. Pitch from Chavez is fouled off. Ethan Madison came into the game batting .333, now 0 for 1 on the day. One of 3 batters to be hit by Jake O'Connor in the early innings of this game. And that is going to be upstairs to fill up the count. Ethan Madison taking that near his chest as Chavez readies for the payoff pitch. And now delivers. That'll be inside. And Madison is on base with the walk. Reaching base for the 2nd time today. Once on a walk, once on a hit by pitch. And it's Dalton Harper up next as the only RBI here today for the Americans. An RBI single to drive in Paul Delanto earlier this game. That came in the top of the 4th inning. Now back up in the 7th, 1 for 2 on the day. Would be a good time for Harper's 2nd hit of the day. Takes a strike on the inside part of the plate. Seems that Harper thought that was going a little further in. Harper, one of a handful of returnees for these Americans from last season. He fouls it off, now in an 0-2 hole here. Dalton Harper playing first for the first time as an American today. The 0-2 pitch in just a moment. Here it is. That bounces in the dirt, but holding up at first base is Ethan Madison. Madison, not quite the speed of some of the guys on this team, like Grant Moore. Even Brady Bowles, Connor Kiefer, who aren't in the lineup tonight, have some great speed on them. Jesmondi has stolen a couple. And that is a chopper to the 3rd baseman, Butera. Sent to first, and it will not be in time.
They're going to say he's out. It's going to be base runner's interference.
Never mind, base runner's interference. So it'll be a double play as the base runner, Madison, got in the way. Both runners called out. A tough break here for the Americans. Gotta keep their base running in check here. Had a couple of issues like that. Cordero is not happy. Shaking his head at the umpire. And Will Cordero, frustrated, headed back to 3rd base. There's been a lot of interference calls against these Americans, something they'll have to look out for moving forward. Yesterday, defensive interference as Alan Ramos rammed into an Elmira base runner. Rather, that was Sunday. And now today, the base runner interference as it's ball 1. On the new batter, Jack Satinoff. Now the base is empty. His college teammate Madison was approaching 3rd, but base runner interference going to get in the way of that here. The Americans really going to have to keep their eyes out for that moving forward. It's big cut and miss for Satinoff to make it 1-1. Satinoff already has struck out once today. He's 0 for 2. Jack Satinoff, one of 5 Americans with a swing and miss for a strikeout. But 2-1 to Satinoff, as the Pilots lead 5-1 in this top of the 7th. The Americans, Satinoff, the last hope to get things going for them here in this 7th inning, but the count even at 2 on another big cut and miss. Satinoff been swinging for the fences here on a couple of pitches, but also taking some balls, showing some patience in between. We'll see what him and Cordero decide on here. It's another big cut and miss for strike 3. Jack Satinoff with his 3rd strikeout in 2 games. Led to the bottom of the 7th. The Americans unable to come up with a run after the base running interference. We'll be right back. Sweet Caroline on the speakers. Love to hear that as a Sox fan. But we'll head to the bottom of the 7th after the break. Ever dreamed of playing catch right here at Sal Magley Stadium? Well, join us June 22nd for a post-game catch on the field. Back here for the bottom of the 7th inning, and fans, the Americans would love to partner with your business. The Americans have lots of options to make your presence known in the community. Please visit their website at NiagaraFallsAmericans.com to get involved. But it's Hudson Boring pitching to Jacob Poletto first in this bottom of the 7th inning. Or Hudson Boring, rather. And that is a fly ball into center field. Catch will be made by Grant Moore for out number 1. And Anthony Hector is up next. The second baseman for the Pilots is 0 for 2 on the night. Inning ended with him just a couple innings ago. And that is ball 1 to him right now. Hudson Boring in his 3rd inning of work here as Hector and Boussard due up to follow Poletto. And that is in there on the low part of the plate for strike 1. So one's across the board now. Ball strikes out. Base is empty for Boring. He's looking to keep it clean here in the 7th after some traffic in the 6th, but right down the pike to make it 1-2. Anthony Hector spent his freshman year at Herkimer. Now at Saracoso Community College. Did not appear for them, and it's a foul tip to make it 1-2. Passed. Was hoping to come up with that, complete the strikeout, but could not get it. Pitch from Boring is sent on the fly ball into left center field. And Evan Core will make the catch for out number 2. Sun just starting to fall below the horizon here at Colburn Park. About an hour 45 into the game, already in the bottom of the 7th. So both pitchers making quick work here today. And same could be said for the relievers in the game now, but Boring against Louis Boussard. It's ball 1 upstairs and away to him. Broussard 1 for 2. Came around to score back in that big third inning. 1-1 count on him now. Also struck out in this game. And sends that one on the fly ball into center field. It'll drop in front of Graham Moore for the base hit. 7th hit of the day for the Pilots. Puts the first runner on here in this 7th inning. We'll see if Boring can avoid letting it pile up once again here. But it won't be easy here against Polly Goodness. The center fielder been excellent on defense. 0 for 2 offensively, but had a sac fly. Also came into the game batting .310, so certainly a capable contact hitter. Just waiting to show it today against the righty Boring. And that is down the pike for strike 1. Goodness will not bite. Goodness has improved upon last year's numbers here in Newark. OPS up to 796 from 656 last year. It's now 1-1 to him. And the sun very bright as it sets here. This game, Rochester Regional Health Night here at Colburn Park. That is low and away. That'll get away from catcher Nick Pass. A wild pitch will send Broussard to second base after the base hit. That dropped in front of Graham Moore as a bloop single in the shallow outfield. And it's now 2-1 to Goodness. Now with a runner in scoring position and 2 down, Boring gonna have to keep his attention divided now. And that is popped foul, bounces right back into the netting. And now 2s across the board with number 2 batting. Boring. We'll see if he checks on Broussard. He does. Before delivering, Broussard goes. And it is high and in to make it a full count. A walk here would put 2 runners on for Cooper Loyal. You do not want to do that. He's 1 for 3 with an RBI. Boring. That'll be popped foul. Count is still full with 2 down. So full count. Big moment for Boring with the runner on second. Here's the payoff pitch. And it is another pop-up between first and second. And Tommy Mathay coming all the way in to make the catch for out number 3. That'll do it for the 7th inning here at Colburn Park. Pilots unable to add to their 5-1 lead. We'll be right back for the 8th inning.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Back for the top of the 8th inning, and this 8th inning is sponsored by Seneca Niagara Resort and Casino, the official casino of the Americans. More winning, more comfort, more entertainment. Go to SenecaNiagaraCasino.com for more. We've got a call to the bullpen here for the Pilots. It's Brady King, the 2-way player. King has batted .338 with a .982 OPS as a batter. A .771 ERA, though, as a pitcher. Comes from Barry University, where he went 2-2 with a .476 ERA and 11 punch-outs. King has seen mixed results so far here for the Pilots. We'll see what the Americans are able to do against him here in this 8th inning. They will have Shane Prey to lead things off against him, followed by Chris Gazaldo and the true leadoff man in this Americans order, Grant Moore. So top of the 8th, Americans looking to cut into this 5-1 lead for the Pilots, and Prey sends that into the outfield on the fly ball. It'll drop for the base hit. Shane Prey, his first hit of the day, hit number 4 for the Americans. A strong start here against the pitcher, Brady King, and Chris Gazaldo up next. Also looking for his first hit of the day. He did get hit earlier, so that was the first time he reached. Pitch from King is on the low part of the zone for strike 1. Catches some dirt, but still also catches the strike zone. And Chris Gazaldo. Down 0-1 in the count. Shane Prey has a lead at first base. Big cut and miss to put Gazaldo down 0-2. Gazaldo had a bit of a slump prior to the last Americans game on Sunday when he had multiple hits, but he was 1 for 10 in between right there. Now looking to prevent another slump right here. Pitch from King is popped up into the shallow outfield, and Wensley will make the grab for out number 1 as Shane Prey holds up at first base. Now Grant Moore coming up. Grant Moore has singled, walked, and struck out swinging on the day. Came into the game batting .472. Has increased that further with his 1 for 2 day. Grant Moore takes the first pitch from King way outside, but Prey will hold up at first base. Grant Moore, the PGCBL West Division Player of the Week in Week 1. He was dethroned by Justin Bremner this past week. But a very hot start to the season, and he has kept it up strong with an 11-game hit streak and sends that into the shallow outfield on the fly ball. It is caught for out number 2. Prey hurrying back to first base. Graham Moore retired for the 2nd consecutive time after striking out his last time up. Now Evan Core, also 1 for 3 on the night, has struck out once as well. That came on a check swing that they said he went around on. Now facing Brady King with 2 down and Shane Prey on first. And takes a strike on the low part of the zone. Core seemed to think that was going even lower, or at the very least would have been unhittable either way. A fast pitch by King, and that one will go outside. 1-1 to Core. Core, one of a handful of SUNY Niagara players for these Americans. Did not play for them in 2025, but 900 OPS back in 24 when he last played for the Thunderwolves. And that is a chopper foul down the third base line to make it 1-2. Evan Core, the left fielder tonight for the Americans, has seen time in all 3 outfield spots as well as at DH. Looking to get something going here in the 8th inning for the Americans, and fouls another one off to stay alive at the very least. Evan Core, 5 ribbies on the year. Right now, just looking to advance Shane Prey, get on base, get something going here for the Americans. But King 1 strike away. It's chopped foul. And that heads just to the right of the netting in foul territory and just to the right of the press box here at Colburn Park. Evan Core looking to climb out of this 1-2 hole. Get on base with 2 down. The pitch from King is high for the ball. Prey headed towards second, and he will be tagged out for out number 3. Caught stealing Shane Prey. Just a little too eager for second base. Led to the bottom of the 8th. Evan Core will get a clean slate in the 9th. But first, it's the Pilots looking to expand on their 5-1 lead.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
Back for the bottom of the eighth. This is officially Hudson Boring's longest appearance for these Americans. He is in inning number 4 of work, as we have Cooper Loyal, Casey Wensley, and Noah Brooks due up for the Pilots to face him. And fans, we want to thank you for tuning in tonight. I want to remind you that the Americans are a great way to bring your group together. Go to NiagaraFallsAmericans.com to plan your group outing today, as it's ball 1 here to Loyal. Loyal 1 for 3 on the day. Drove in a run on a infield single, but gets whacked by Hudson Boring. He'll take his base. It's a runner on to start this 8th inning for the Pilots. Next up, Casey Wensley. Wensley 0 for 2 has walked and came around to score. Wensley came into this game batting .478, product of Division III Wheaton College over in Massachusetts. And shows bunt, but that'll go low for the ball. Wensley led qualified hitters in batting average over at Wheaton. .395 over there, even higher so far here at Newark. The 1-0 count, and he sends one foul down the third base line to make it an even count. It'll be ones across the count here. It's 1-1 with a runner on. Boring. The 1-1 right here is sent up the middle and picked up by the second baseman Satinoff. Out at second, but the fielder's choice. No out at first. Casey Wensley will reach first base on out number 1. So Wensley now 0 for 3, but on base nonetheless. And Noah Brooks will bat next. Came into this game batting .458, has increased that further with a 2 for 3 day. Single and a double. And a check swing. He will go on that one for strike 1. Hudson Boring has the early advantage on the biggest hitter today in this Pilots lineup. The 0-1 will go inside and headed for second. And safe is Casey Wensley. He steals on the ball. One's across the board now, ball strikes outs. As Casey Wensley takes second base. Brooks facing Boring in this right-on-right matchup. Count is even at 1. Pilots looking to build on their 5-1 lead, really put this game away before the top of the 9th comes, and that is lined into the deep outfield. And Mathay will be there for out number 2 to make the catch. Christian Butera up next. He is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts and a walk. He's yet to make contact in fair territory in tonight's game. Came in batting .265. The second consecutive righty that Boring will face with 2 down and a runner on second.
So 2 away, Christian Butera steps in. Walked his last time around. Looking for his first hit of the ball game.
And Butera will take one low and through the glove of Nick Past. And taking third base on the wild pitch is Casey Wensley. So Hudson Boring, 1-0 in the count against Butera. Here's the 1-0, and it is popped behind the plate foul to even up the count. Boring sends the 1-1 Butera's way, and he will go on strike two. The check swing counted as a strike. Butera with the count against his favor. A fly ball heads foul to keep the count at 1-2. And Christian Butera, originally from East Greenwich, Rhode Island, stayed local over at Brown. Very smart to get in there, but now twos across the board. Ball strikes out as that one goes a little inside. Sun beginning to fully set here at Colburn Park. The pitch from Boring is going to be sent foul as well. Runner on third in the form of Wensley, eager to come home, but going to need his teammate Christian Butera to get on base for the second time today. He's already walked once, but he's also struck out twice. The 2-2, swing and a miss. Hudson Boring finishes the inning with a strikeout. We'll head to the top of the ninth. Last shot for the Americans to come back, and they will have Evan Core up for a second shot. We'll be right back.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Back for the top of the ninth here at Colburn Park, and fittingly the final countdown is playing. It's the final chance for the Americans to put up some runs before the Pilots put this one away and advance to 7-1-1 on the year. It would be the fourth loss out of 5 for Niagara Falls if they cannot score enough here, but to face Brady King here in this inning, they'll have Evan Core, Tommy Mathey, and Paul Delanto. This ninth inning here on the Americans Baseball Network is sponsored by Casella, Salino Plumbing, Blaze Brockway Contracting, and Wright Beverages, providing all alcoholic beverages over at Deb's Beer Garden at Sal Magley. We'll be back open tomorrow for the game against the Pilots. And that is grounded foul by Core for strike one. And it's been a very quick game here, just over 2 hours in, and Brady King looking to finish things off here for the Pilots. In this top of the ninth, they lead 5-1, out hitting the Americans 7-4 despite 2 errors. That is in there on the inside part of the plate to make it 0-2. Core will not bite. And the Pilots, led by Brady King, looking to put this away. Here's the 0-2. That is just outside to make it 1-2. Evan Core 1 for 3 on the day as a bat was cut short in the 8th inning by the caught stealing on Prey. Gunned out by the catcher. Noah Brooks has been excellent on both sides of the ball today. And that's a grounder. Will head towards first base. King coming over to cover. And that is out number 1 on the 3-1 ground out. Wooten rather, to Brady King, the pitcher.
Fielder number 2,
Now Tommy Mathey with one down, 0 for 3 on the day. Did reach on an error, but only him and Delanto left 2 up here in this 9th inning. King looking to record these final 2 outs of the game. Get a 2-inning opportunity. That is a line drive into right field for a base hit. Mathey on base for the 5th hit of the day for the Americans. Mathey's 2nd time on base. Graham Moore coming to collect Mathey's bat, and Paul Delanto has a runner on for his at-bat with 1 down. A speedy one as well in the form of Tommy Mathey. The Americans were down 11-0 to the Doubledays on Thursday, rallied for 5 runs in the 9th. So this team has so much fighting them. Delanto, though, taking strike 1 on the inside. Brady King working those edges of the zone very smoothly here. And the pitchers have been making for quick work here in this game. That's another one that finds the inside part of the zone. It's 0-2 to Delanto. Paul Delanto, though, one of the last cries of hope here for these Americans in this 5-1 ball game. The pitch, swing and a miss. Delanto goes down swinging. Brady King recording his first strikeout of the day. And the Americans down to just Nick Past here with Mathey on first. Nick Past looking for his first hit of the day. Had a multi-hit game back on Saturday against the Ironbacks. Looking for just one here to save the Americans' day. And that'll be sent on the line drive into the outfield for the base hit. It's runners on first and second. The Americans putting some traffic on the base path. Butera diving for that line drive, but it will not be enough. It's 2 runners on. The Americans now have the tying run on deck with Ethan Madison up to bat. Not going to come easy here for Brady King. 2 on, 2 out, and both runners have a lead. The pitch is going to be in there on the outside part of the zone for strike 1. The fastball heading right down the pike from King. King will check on Mathey, and now that is sent on another line drive into the outfield for the base hit. Mathey gonna hold up at third, gets the stop sign from Coach Cordero. The bases are now juiced, and the Americans have tied up the Pilots on hits, but they've stranded a lot of runners today, hoping not to do that here with the bases loaded. Dalton Harper represents the tying run. He comes to the plate. 1 for 3 on the day. Has the only RBI so far. Can he get a few more here with the bases juiced? Brady King now checking on second base, and it's another one sent up the middle, but this one fielded cleanly, and the out at second will end this game. The Americans strand the bases loaded, and the Pilots will win 5-1. The Americans have now dropped 4 of their last 5 after the 6-0 start. The Americans will be back in action tomorrow at home, looking to snap the cold streak against the Jamestown Tarpskunks. That one will be a 6:30 first pitch from Sal Magley. I'll be back on the call here on the Americans Baseball Network, but for now, that is going to do it here in Newark. The Pilots holding on to first place in the PGCBL West Division, fending off these Niagara Falls Americans who, depending on the result between the Muck Dogs and Doubledays tonight, will either stay in second or drop to third in the PGCBL West standings. Either way, holding on to their playoff spot. But thank you so much, everyone, for listening today. I've been your play-by-play broadcaster, Andrew Roberts. Final score from Newark, the Pilots 5, the Americans 1. Thank you so much.